Now we can define the frequency reuse. Frequency reuse is a design process by which we are selecting and allocating the channel groups for all the base station. That is a basic definition of frequency reuse. Why we are using frequency reuse is because the limitation of our bandwidth. We are having only certain number of frequency channels available to us. So a system will be effective only when we are able to reuse these channels. And for theoretical purpose we are going to use, from the cell shapes we are going to choose hexagonal cell, rigid hexagonal cell shapes in conceptual in nature. And when we are representing a cell, for our understanding we can use some letters, and the same letters can indicate that they are going to use the same set of frequencies. In this figure, the cells are being grouped into clusters, and the clusters are going to cover the whole of the geographical area. In this figure, we are having a 7-cell cluster. A, B, C, D, E, F, G represent one cluster which is going to be replicated over whole of the area. What does it mean is that the cells which is being shown by say one alphabetical letter A will be using some particular set of channels. Another cells B shown by alphabetical letter B will be using another set of channels. This frequency reuse concept is very important for a mobile service provider because he have to take care that sufficient distance is maintained between each of these channels using same frequency. Only then noise level will be kept at minimum and quality service can be provided. Another important thing when you observe this figure is that the distance between the cells using same frequencies should be the same. When I am considering a cell A, the distance between one cell A to another cell A and to another cell A should be the same. Even if you are taking one cell in between, rotating it and keeping it back, then also it should remain the same. This is very important because we should be having a uniform signal strength in all direction. There should not be any partiality, that is everyone should be getting equal service. So that is why we are choosing rigid hexagonal cell shapes for a theoretical purpose, and here we keep the distance between the co-channel cells, that is the cells using same frequency, to be the same. This is very important. The important concept explained in this slide is we are going to use a frequency reuse concept wherever be the base station transmitter antenna. Suppose we are having a total of S duplex channels available. What we are going to do is that we are going to divide these channels again into subbands. So what channels we are available with, again we are going to provide a certain set of channel to one particular cell. So K here is nothing but a subset of S. So each and every cell will be having K set of channels. Again we know the concept of what is a cluster. Capital N denotes the cluster size, that is how much number of cells are available in one particular cluster. So we can have an equation S is equal to Kn, where S is representing the total number of duplex channels which is available. It is given by K into N, where K represents the number of subbands or number of channels available in each cell, and N represent the total number of cells in one cluster. We have seen the total number of duplex channels available, S is equal to K into N. Now if we are going to replicate this K into N over the whole geographical area M times, that is the cluster is repeated over M times, that defines the capacity of a system. That is given by the equation C is equal to M into S. Now how can you increase the capacity of the system? If more and more cluster is repeated. So if we are keeping the cluster size to be small, say if for instead of 7, if we are choosing cluster size to be 3, we are going to reuse the frequency bands more and more. So our capacity of the system will be increased. But the important problem here is that if we are going to repeat it too soon, there is an increased chance of interference or noise. So that is the problem. So frequency reuse should be properly designed. While keeping the capacity to be maximum, the interference factor should also be considered. Now in this example figure, we are having 7 cell cluster size and different colors are, instead of alphabets we are having different colors, and co-channel cells are being shown by same colors. So we are going, if we are having a map like this, how the whole geographical area is being covered in the form of cluster is just shown for understanding. Same colors use same co-channel cells. As already explained, the distance between the co-channel cells should be kept the same, and here hexagonal cells are shown to be rigid in nature with the cluster repeating over the whole area. Again, these are simple frequency reuse patterns shown with the frequency reuse factor of 4, 7, etc. Now when we are considering hexagonal cell shapes, by looking at the geometrical figure itself, we can understand that all the cells and the neighbor, when you are considering the lines joining, they are obviously separated by multiples of 60 degree. So as a mobile service provider, I cannot choose any cluster size. I have a standard equation for choosing what could be my possible cluster size. So if I am choosing a hexagonal shape, I can have only a cluster size n, which is going to satisfy a particular equation given by I square plus ij plus j square. I and j here represents non-negative integers. So only if this equation is satisfied, I can choose a cluster. This equation is based on hexagonal geometry. We have to remember this equation for choosing our cluster size. So if we are choosing say n is equal to 7 or n is equal to 3, it is because this satisfies this particular equation. In this slide, we will explain how to find co-channel cells, that is the cells which are going to reuse the same set of frequency channels which are available. So we cannot have any cluster size for a rigid hexagonal geometry. It should satisfy the particular equation where I and j are non-negative integers. So in this example, we have used a cluster size of n is equal to 19, I is equal to 3 and j is equal to 2. So how from one co-channel cell you can find the other co-channel cell? First of all, starting from a center, you can see we are going to move a distance of I cells along any chain line of hexagon. So here we have to move a distance of I distance means 3 we have to move from any center line of hexagon, and from there we have to turn either 60 degree counterclockwise or we can move 30 degree clockwise and then move j distance, in this example 2 units, and reach other co-channel cell. So according to this example, we have to move a distance of 3 starting from any center line point of hexagon and then move 30 degree clockwise and move j distance, that is 2 units, to reach other co-channel cell. We can have two types of channel assignment strategy for our cells. It can be either fixed channel assignment strategy or dynamic channel assignment strategy. First type of channel assignment strategy is a fixed channel assignment strategy. From the name itself, it is clear that each and every cell will be allocated a certain set of voice channels. There is no option to borrow a channel from the other cell. Suppose inside a cell a person is making a call, that is a mobile station is requesting to the base station, then the base station will allocate that set of channel which was already predetermined. In other cases, the call will be blocked, that is our services will not be answered. Even though if there is another channel which is unoccupied at the present moment by another cell, it cannot be shared. Other variation is a dynamic channel assignment where channels could be borrowed if it is free. But here the responsibility lies with the MSC or the mobile switching center. So whenever a call is being made, the base station has to request a channel from the MSC. MSC will have to allocate the channel in this case. Obviously, the MST has to consider a lot of factors like interference factors, noise factors, what could be the reuse distance of the channels or cost factors, etc. But here the sole responsibility is with the MSC to allocate the channel dynamically. Whichever channel is free, if possible, it could allocate that channel to the cell. Here the cells are not being allocated fixed channels on a permanent basis.